Give me just a moment here. Okay, we're ready to go. We've got Daniel Frazine also joining us, and Matt Huff is here. You are all here for a probation violation arraignment or other show cause matter. These are all PV arraignments, I believe, where I will tell you what the allegation is that you violated your probation and see how you wish to proceed. You do have the right to have an attorney, and we'll talk about that. Let's start with Perry White. Mr. White, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
This is file 21606ST. Mr. Frazine is the probation agent in this case. The allegation is that you were placed on probation for June 21st. Says here for driving suspended. Daniel, I thought it was OUIL. No, it was a driving suspended.
Yeah, it is OWI.
And OWI. And he alleges that you violated your probation by failing to abstain from the use of alcohol or drugs. You showed up at the jail to serve a portion of your sentence with a PBT of 0.098, and that would be an allegation that you violated your probation. Now, that is, as I stated, just an allegation. For all of you, you have a right to have a hearing regarding the violation. At that hearing, you have a right to have the prosecutor representing the state prove that beyond a preponderance of the evidence. You do not have a right to have a jury trial on that, but you do have a right to have a hearing with an attorney. Daniel goes through the bad history of this, and his recommendation is to simply impose the deferred jail time, which I think was 30 days. Mr. White, you had Attorney Davidoff represent you in the original hearing. You can hire him, or you can have me appoint an attorney to represent you on the hearing if you wish. Do you wish to admit to this violation, or do you wish to have a hearing on it?
No, I don't wish to have a hearing on it. I made a mistake, and I made a mistake, and it will never happen again.
Did anyone promise you anything to get you to enter this plea?
No, I'd just rather be up and honest and get everything over and done with.
All right. Daniel, what's your recommendation?
Well, he has showed up for his last 3 weekends sober, on time, and he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing now. He served 8 days now. I wouldn't have a problem with having him continue on this path as long as he keeps doing what he's doing.
All right. I guess the worst we can do is fail. He's back on track. I'm going to order 2 additional days of jail, which will be served on weekends.
Judge Middleton?
Yes?
I was talking to Dan the other day, and I was wondering, because I'm only going to work and back, I was wondering if you could consider putting me in the probation center.
Daniel, could we make that happen?
I could call over there. Last I knew, they had some room.
All right. I'm going to order 2 days jail, credit 0, to be served weekends or work release. Probation is continued. Defendant may serve at work release.
Call me at 10:30, Perry.
Yes, sir.
All right, that probation is continued. Perry, where are you working? I forgot.
I'm working at Jayco in Middlebury.
Okay. All right. I appreciate your candor, sir. I wouldn't have been upset or angry at you if you'd asked for an attorney, but I also appreciate sometimes when you make a mistake, your willingness to just accept responsibility. And I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Light, call your PO at 10:30. He's got a little more work to do here.
Okay, have a good day.
All right, thank you. Let's do Jamie Ketchum next. Jamie, let me get your file pulled up here. This is file 21638, People versus Jamie Ketchum. Jamie was placed on probation on June 21st for a domestic violence charge. Her probation officer, Daniel Frazine, has filed a petition alleging that she's failed to report to the probation officer as directed, failed to abstain from the use of drugs, failed to participate in treatment as directed. Those are the allegations. And this is an arraignment on those charges. Jamie, how do you plead to those allegations?
I didn't sign the papers. I've been having health issues again. I lost my job and
All right. Would you like me to appoint an attorney to represent you?
yes, Your Honor.
Daniel says, this is one of the worst cases of alcoholism this officer has seen. We're dealing with a matter of People versus Jamie Yvonne Ketchum, file 21638 SM, domestic violence, probation. Court just advised her of the allegations. She's asked to have an attorney to represent her. She has always been hostile, combative, generally difficult to deal with. Jamie, this probation is not going well at all. You're angry, you're mad, you're depressed. You don't want to be on this probation. Daniel is recommending 30 days jail and we revoke your probation. I'll show you plead not guilty. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Set a probation violation hearing. You're still on probation.
Yes, Your Honor.
Daniel, when did you last talk to her?
I have not talked to her at all. I've had some email correspondence.
Jamie, I'm not sure what else to say. He's recommending 30 days. The maximum sentence is 93 days. You don't want to be on this probation. You resent everything. You're not doing anything that I asked you to do. There's jail in your future if you're convicted of this violation. You're always okay with me. I've had a couple of really good discussions with you. And
Your
I
Honor,
was disappointed when I saw Daniel's report. Yes?
may I say something?
Yes, I don't want you to say too much because at this point you're pleading not guilty and asking for an attorney. There's no attorney here with you today. So having that in mind, do you still want to tell me something?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I was placed a couple years ago by you, and Daniel was my probation officer. I had a violation. You gave me the option to go test and get off a probation if I tested clean. And I did. And you satisfactory my probation. I showed up for every meeting but one drug test because my son had.
Well, that's why I'm disappointed. I had a good working relationship with you before. I'm not sure how we got so sideways on this probation.
Your Honor, I don't drink. I think he's thinking of somebody else. I'm not saying who because of I pled not guilty, and he was their probation officer too.
Okay.
And they used to live in my household.
Okay. Well, like I said, I've had some very good discussions with you, and I made a bargain with you, and you held up your end of the deal, and I held up my end of the deal. I want you to get a lawyer to help you with this, and we're going to set it for further hearing. Are you still at the 5th Street address?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me about losing your job.
I had a stroke February 8th. I had another TIA May 23rd. It affected my speech and my mobility on my left.
Jamie, I think that's the difference between the last time and this time. We've discussed that. I think the stroke has changed your personality a little bit. And I know that you're struggling with those issues also. So I'm most comfortable with you having a lawyer to help you here. So I'm going to
Okay.
set it for further hearing, and we'll give you a notice of it. It will be probably in person.
Okay. Do I have to hire an attorney?
No, I'm going to appoint one for you. And I'm going to set a hearing here at the courthouse. You're going to physically have to be here for this type of hearing. We're going to be taking testimony. All right, I will send you that notice. You are still on probation. So
Yes,
no
Your
assault
Honor.
or threatening behavior, no alcohol, all the same conditions apply. All right, I'm going to get a lawyer for you and we'll set this for further proceeding live and in person. I don't have the date right now. I'll get that for you. All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Lemon, let's talk to you. Let me get your case pulled up here.
It doesn't look like he has his audio enabled.
All right. Mr. Lemon, can you hear me? Mr. Lemon, can you hear me? Thank you, Matt.
I can try to give him a call too, Your Honor.
All right,
Looks like he's on his
Mahaffey.
phone.
Miss Mahaffey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Your Honor.
We'll do your case, then we'll come back to Mr. Lemon. This is file 202538, People versus Christy Mahaffey. Ms. Mahaffey was placed on probation on February 9th of 2021 for use of methamphetamine. Her probation officer, whose is this? Doesn't have a signature on the petition.
It's
Mine.
Daniel.
Daniel's, all right. Failing to pay fines and costs and other fees, failing to abstain from the use of drugs or alcohol, failed to test on demand. Defendant claims she's not on any prescriptions, failing to participate in treatment program as directed by the probation department. Defendant has had no AA meetings logged and has not followed up with Woodlands for treatment. So Daniel has filed a petition asking to violate your probation. Let me see what the status report.
Your Honor, I have went and dropped every time he has asked me.
All right. He's recommending we impose the deferred jail. So do you wish to plead not guilty and have an attorney to assist you with this?
Yes,
Okay.
because I have tested every time and I have also paid off my probation now.
What about treatment? Have you done any treatment?
I went to Woodlands for my assessment and he told me I should not even be here. I only tested with a 1 and you needed an 8 for help.
All right, man. Hey, come on. All right. Because that was my turn, but now that you've heard next. But
Well, Mr. Lemon, stick around. I can hear you now. We'll come back to you in a minute.
okay.
She did test and did
I
pursue.
even went and tested when I was in Arkansas with my aunt. I even went to Missouri and tested for him.
All right. Are you employed?
No, I am looking for work. I believe I can start work next week at Wahoo's in Dowagiac.
Okay.
Transportation is a problem right now, so I'm trying to get with a friend that works there as well.
All right. Same thing. I'm going to appoint an attorney, set a hearing. Let me look at that petition again. Darn it, can't find what I'm looking for here. Yeah, Woodlands didn't recommend any additional treatment.
They said if she tested positive, she should go back in there. And in March, she tested positive for meth and marijuana. And I told her to go to 2 meetings a week and follow back up with Woodlands. I spoke with Tom. Tom said she should go back there and follow up because of the positive test for meth, and she hasn't done so.
And then she had a positive marijuana test in July.
Yeah. She had a couple positive tests for marijuana since.
Yes, my level should be dropping.
All right, well, I'm gonna get a lawyer to help you with this, okay?
All right, thank you.
And we'll figure out what we're gonna do.
And you should now have received my full payment for all of it.
All right, that's something we'll take into consideration also. All right, at this point, you're presumed to be not guilty of the probation violation, but your probation is continued. This next hearing will be in person.
All right,
It won't be by Zoom. It will be a live hearing here at the courthouse.
okay.
I'll send you a notice of that, and you continue with your probation and do what's directed, and we'll address the hearing on the scheduled date. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, now that we can hear Mr. Lemon, let's go back to his case. This is People versus Calvin Marcus Lemon. Let me pull yours up. This is Mr. Huff's. I think that finishes you, Daniel.
Yes, it does, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. It's alleged that on or about January 11th, Calvin Lemon was placed on probation for impaired driving. Matt filed a petition alleging that he failed to abstain from the use of alcohol or drugs, tested positive for alcohol on 4/21. In his status report, oops. Usually I print this stuff out, but today I thought I would just try to do it all from the computer. Matt says, I've had a conversation with Calvin about this. When he's stressed out, he does turn to alcohol. He's assumed responsibility. He's recommending 1 day in jail to be scheduled by probation. Is that your recommendation?
Yeah, my recommendation was just for 1 day to be scheduled on work, so Mr. Lemon's not suffering there. I think he was upfront and honest with me with regard to what happened. Says that this isn't a consistent thing, but it is something that he admitted to doing at that point in time. And so since he's honest, I figured we could just schedule something and continue on with probation.
All right. That's the recommendation. I give you 1 day in jail, continue the probation, and he'll schedule the 1 day. Right now, this is just an allegation that you violated the probation. You're entitled to have a hearing on it, and you're entitled to have that be proven beyond a preponderance, and you're entitled to have an attorney to represent you. You also can simply admit the violation, and my inclination would be to follow the recommendation. What do you wish to do?
I'm trying to take the easiest way out, Your Honor, but like I told Matt, it's not a consistent thing. And it's, my daughter's birthday came up, the holidays, I caught myself just mingle drinking, and coincidental, I had to drop like a day or two after that, and it was still in my system. I knew I was messing up then. And like I said, I'm here to own up to it. It's just, I hate to do jail time, but I mean.
Well, do you wish to just simply admit the violation?
Yes, I'm admitting it. I'm there's no hiding it. I mean, come on, we all adults. I mean, I messed up. I really did, but I don't have a drinking problem. I work 10-hour days, Monday through Fridays. I like I said.
Well, it was the same issue with Mr. White there earlier. I said sometimes when you make a mistake, you just own it and move on.
Right.
And I appreciate your honesty, and so does Matt, which is why the recommendation was not revoke the probation and only. Normally, we used to do this without a hearing. We just do an automatic day in jail in the past, but I'm not sure that met due process requirements. I'm going to order 1 day, credit 0, leaving 1 day to serve to be scheduled by the probation department. Your probation is continued. That was way back in April. According to Matt, you're doing a good job now. Matt, we're not too far from having this probation completed, are we?
No, we're not. However, what you must have an outdated status report because there's an update. There was a positive test for July 1st. So
Oh, I didn't see that.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, technically, at the 6-month mark, we were going to consider Mr. Lemon for early discharge. I think at this point, what we'll do is probably just make sure he maintains his sobriety because he doesn't think it'll be an issue for another month or two. And if he can not test positive at that point, then we will follow through with a successful discharge, so long as he takes care of the rest of his requirements.
Yeah, I don't have any other. All
Sometimes
right.
it doesn't show the most update. If I revise it,
Okay.
it won't show the revision for you, but it is in there.
All right. I will follow your recommendation. 1-day jail, probation continued. Mr. Lemon, I appreciate your honesty. And Matt will be in contact with you.
Calvin, do you work today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you going in right after this?
hmm
All right. Why don't you just give me a call when you can, and we'll get this all sorted out.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lemon. We'll let you
Thanks,
get
Your
back to
Honor.
work. Thank you. All right, well, that completes our morning docket. It's fairly light this morning. Judge Pattison is having a busy morning, but I'm working on scheduling our jury trials for the first time in more than a year. Scheduling trials every Wednesday through September and October, working on our jury trial backlog.